A shot of him. He has a contract to 2020, although he's been linked with such teams as Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain and indeed Arsenal. I think he will stay though if they have a good World Cup. Just confirmation of their lineup once again then. Much change from the weekend game against Spain, when they admit they didn't really press well enough early enough.
No, I agree, Jonathan. I don't think it was a particularly intense performance from either side, really, and that's understandable. At this stage of the season, with so many big matches to come, players just want to show that they are capable, but not overexert themselves physically, and of course not pick up any injuries. Still, it was a competitive fixture, and as the game wore on, they grew into it and deserved that draw in the end against Spain.
7 changes in all to that side, and of course there's plenty of Premier League interest. Likes of Kai Gundogan starting, and Antonio Rudiger as well, and Leroy Sané.
Great atmosphere. If there's any problem, let's communicate in a positive manner.
Good stuff, referee.
Yellow
Well
or blue? Of course. And green for you, my dude.
He wants to communicate
not so much
positively.
Not so much sun. Stay on that side. All the best. Go on.
This is if Brazil will be staying put then away to our right-hand side. Dani Alves in his 107th international, playing in the World Cup semi-final of 2014, and he's heading for his 3rd World Cup final. Jonas Eriksson is the referee. Lovely night for football. Spring is on the way, and that is that's about as strong as they could be here tonight.
Yeah, bar Neymar, of course, who will undoubtedly come back into the lineup once he's fit. Brazil probably could not be any stronger. It's interesting, actually, Jonathan, that you probably couldn't pick a more hard-working yet talented Brazilian group of players. Actually, all these guys are so impressive without the ball in terms of their high pressing, and that's something that TT, I think, has demanded and has got in the last couple of seasons, and campaigns with friendlies and of course qualifiers for the World Cup have been of a high quality.
He did hint that Douglas Costa would be rested tonight and there would be changes, but that's just the one. Costa out of the side, and Fernandinho starting with Casemiro and Paulinho. There's Willian, who's been in terrific form for club and country throughout this season. Off we go then in the biggest football match internationally of 2018 so far. Germany, the World Cup holders, against Brazil, the record World Cup winners, of course. No team on earth has won the tournament more times than Brazil, and their 5 triumphs. Here's Joachim Löw. He's up against a very strong lineup tonight. Will it be about tactics? Will it be about formations? Well, he said no, it's never been about that. It's always been about the attitude of his players. But it is interesting that he's saying in the build-up to this, they have moved away from, not moved away, they've now combined traditional German strengths, attitude, effort, work rate with a higher technical culture in the last 4 years.
Germany, that is, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, believe so. Sometimes you just have to accept that certain players won't be able to play in a maybe more physical manner that some of the German players, some great German players, of course, in a different era. And maybe more top-class German players are now playing out of the Bundesliga, so they have a different influence.
Antonio Rudiger, played just 3 times in World Cup qualifying. He scored against Azerbaijan, one of those 23 scorers I was telling you about earlier. Rudiger starting to the left of Boateng in the Hummels position. There's Leroy Sané, who came on against Spain for Joachim Löw on Friday. They're not dodging anyone, as we said on Friday, in terms of preparation. Germany to play Spain and then follow that up against Brazil. They have 2 more games before their World Cup opener. They play against Austria away in Klagenfurt on June the 2nd, and then they play Saudi in Kaiserslautern, their farewell game before they head off to Russia. Marcelo
Still the best, Jonathan. You don't need to avoid anybody. If you believe you are right up there with the other one or two top nations like Brazil and Spain, and you'll accept any friendly, of course, if it works out your schedule.
There's Tite, who was very much a pupil of Phil Scolari. In fact, he's a PE graduate, and he studied under Scolari. He's followed him into the job, of course. So I hope he is as successful as Scolari was in the Far East. Goodness me, 16 years ago.
Yes, and Jochen Low, of course, was assistant to Jurgen Klinsmann, who arguably could be the guy responsible for this transformation, if you like, of
a bit of overconfidence, perhaps, or was it simply cool Brazilian defending? Here's Kimmich. Now Kroos, not his best game against Spain. Draxler, neither did he. More central role for him, it seems, tonight. Sane with the cross blocked. Just tidied up, put back there by Paulinho. Some workers in that Brazil midfield. Paulinho, Fernandinho and Carlos Casemiro. All three of them at top clubs. Yeah. Leading the league with Barcelona, Fernandinho at Manchester City, and Casemiro, of course, at Real Madrid. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, no problem. It's certainly the two guys who will hold will be Casemiro and Fernandinho, and Paulinho is his first forward right now, nearly blocking that clearance from Kevin Trapp. The one who's got the ability to get forward and join in with the front three and score a couple of goals as well.
Nowadays, coaches look for top-class distribution from their goalkeepers. It's only Kevin Trapp's third international for Germany. He's yet to keep a clean sheet. He played in a draw against Denmark in a friendly, and then against France back in the autumn. Clears again under pressure. Brazil pressing high early on. Marcelo with the throw. Nearly didn't make it through to Brazil's senior status, Marcelo, in the Junior World Cup in 2005. He was sent off twice in the tournament. They were runners-up. He had a very stormy few years as a junior. Came from a very hard background, did Marcelo. There's a lot of the Brazilian players have over the years.
The Brazilian fans, media and coaches, of course, powerful figures in the federation, not very forgiving of players who have poor disciplinary records.
It's a chance now for the cross from Plattenhardt, palmed down by Alisson.
Just as Felipe Melo, who was sent off in 2010 against the Dutch, when Brazil were leading and cruising through a Robinho goal, and they self-imploded after his ridiculous sending-off. Never played for Brazil after that. A very fine player, has to be said, in the Casemiro and Fernandinho role, probably with a bit more power than those two. That was the end of his career.
And Marcelo again. He's gone on to play such a leading role for Brazil over recent years. This is his 52nd international. Paulinho, who is really shining at Barcelona this season. Tottenham fans are wondering why they didn't quite see that player when he was at White Hart Lane. One back by Gundogan. Misplaced pass by Germany. Brazil have started to smooth the side. Paulinho, Willian. And Marvin Plattenhardt gets it away. The Hertha Berlin player. Huge role for him. Here's Sane. Gomez is in the middle. Sane just dwelt on it a little bit too long, and the man who got back at him and won it cleanly and gets it away is Chelsea's Willian.
Yeah, it's great play from Brazil midfield man. Sane just took a little bit too long. Didn't quite get the run he was looking for. Willian is a strong boy.
He's one of the 15 that have been named for World Cup at 18. You can also add to that really Edison and Neto, the second and third choice goalkeepers. Douglas Costa, who's been rested at the bench tonight. Fred, who's on the bench, and Tyson, the Shakhtar Donetsk players. I think they will go as well. Very few places still to be won. And some big names may well miss out. I mean, Luis seems to be part of Brazil's past now. Alexandro, Danilo, Jamerson, Rafinha, Jadson, Edilson, they've all been named as possibilities. Can't all go. There's Kimmich, who certainly will be there for Germany. A tiny nudge on Mario Gomez. Miranda looks bemused.
I was surprised he wasn't a fixture in 2014. Miranda, Inter Milan, such a terrific defender at Atletico Madrid for a number of years. Some of that stability and real fierceness about going about your job, stopping people scoring. I think that was certainly missing in the 7-1 defeat, you say, with Thiago Silva's absence, along with Neymar, of course. Things like that missing was.
He played in the Copa in 2015. He played in the Copa last time around as well, but he didn't make that World Cup side, and his defending wasn't great there either, but it's a flag raised.
Yeah, a couple of plays, take your pick. Certainly Boateng is the one who makes contact with it. He's clearly offside, and Gomez stumbles as he tries to control that ball, and fully committed, as you would expect from a striker in that position. Took him up for his troubles as well.
It's a concern there that a couple of the Brazil players missed it in the air. Miranda was one. They're already looking to appeal. It was offside, clearly. And it played to the whistle. João Miranda again. Collected by Philippe Coutinho. Wonderful talent. The ball had too much pace as he looked for Gabriel Jesus.
It was a surprise. Hit by quite a number of yards.
Perhaps Firmino for Gabriel Jesus in the starting lineup in the summer in Russia? Do you think maybe?
Yeah, possibly. I think he likes that real energy in the front line. Not that Firmino doesn't have it, but maybe just younger legs. That's a toss-up, really, isn't it, between those two?
All of the starting lineup tonight based European clubs. Name a handful of players based back in Brazil, and he named also for these two matches a handful of uncapped players like Neto, the goalkeeper I was telling you about, Anderson Talisca, Besiktas, another, and William José, who's a Real Sociedad. Here's Coutinho now, a lovely dip of the shoulders has taken him into the penalty area. Bit of a feint, bit of a dummy. There's the pullback, and another poor ball by Coutinho after doing all the hard work. Good ball back in though, and eventually it's lanced away.
Yeah, good break, took his time, didn't he, Coutinho, as you'd expect. Just able to pick out the teammate. Still warming to their task.
Marcelo. Fernandinho has made a little run in there, but Coutinho didn't choose to use it. So he goes via Casemiro. That's interesting, QPR. I don't think they could get a work plan. I very much doubt that at that stage they could match the valuation. Currently rated at 60 million. One of the world's best defensive midfield players. There he is again. Tall, strong. Willian. Take on Plattenhardt. Here's Rudiger.
And we get a clean cross to Willian, but he's so good at doing it. Just standing defenders up. He shifts the ball and his body so quickly to the right more often than not. When you're watching at home, you're probably thinking, well, it's actually quite predictable. He almost never comes in on the left, onto his left foot.
Brazil have certainly started the stronger.
He does it so well that it's so difficult to defend against.
Coutinho. Miranda again. So they've only won twice in their last 8 in Berlin. They seem to be uncomfortable here. There's Leon Goretzka, but Schalke is only 23.
They're easy to play in front of fans, I think, in the capital. Big stadium like this, not like these players are not used to. Big grounds, big crowds. I think there's something that they seem to prefer about the more intimate stadiums around the country, which they've done that, haven't they, historically, taking it all over the nation, give everybody a chance to be part of the Mannschaft.
Continuous foul. There's a little wriggler. Munch took him down. As I said on Friday during the game against Spain, 16 of the German squad. That's why I mentioned how young Goretzka could be there at World Cup 2022. It's a frightening thought. That's the way they do things in Germany. It's just a touch back there. Goalkeeper had to rush the clearance again. Rudiger hasn't been impressive with his deliveries from the back.
And he's been put under pressure as well when Brazil have seen the ball going back to him. Maybe they've had a word about that before the game. This is a guy who's looking to cement his place and he may be a little bit nervous. Like if Ter Stegen or Neuer were to hurry a few clearances and make a few errors, maybe it would particularly bother them. They're pretty nailed on in the squad, aren't they?
One of the problems Kevin Trapp has is he doesn't play much football. He's at Paris Saint-Germain. It's not the first choice there. He's only played 3 league games this season.
Totally rushed them.
Here's Marvin Plattenhardt. Some of you might not know a great deal about the 26-year-old Hertha Berlin defender in his 6th German appearance. In 2 of the World Cup qualifiers, he's likely to go as understudy to Hector. Kimmich will be first choice right back. Kroos will certainly be there. Hero of 4 years ago. Plattenhardt looking to get forward, and there's Dani Alves.
Yeah, they've certainly got quite a few certainties in Germany. I imagine maybe 12, 15. Some Muller, Ozil, and a few.
Very much their first choice defence would be Neuer, Kimmich, Hummels, Boateng and Hector. You'd have Kroos in there, wouldn't you? You'd have Ozil in there.
Yeah, certainly.
You'd have Muller in there.
Yeah, there were 1 or 2 others who, if they get themselves fit, would have a good chance.
There's Gabriel Jesus, Coutinho. The dink ball back was deflected away. Important deflection away by Boateng. Certainly the squads are taking shape and the likely starting lineups are taking place now.
Teammate on teammate, Casemiro on Toni Kroos. Committed a foul, but the kind of determination that Brazil are looking for in the middle of the park.
I don't think it was ever going to be a high-octane international friendly. The second matches of these pairings rarely are, because club football returns, of course, the weekend.
A couple of days' time, but I think just the fact that Tite in particular has picked a super strong side.
And they have that revenge in mind. Here's Coutinho. Gabriel Jesus. Djalma Miranda. Casemiro. Thiago Silva, and good ball round the corner by Willian to Dani Alves. Headed away by young Kimmich.
Irrespective of what happens here tonight, Jonathan, I'd much rather face Germany once again in the World Cup and win that. That would be real revenge.
Gundogan. Leroy Sané. Here's Saxlo. We've seen very little of him. It's a good pull up that though, and Gundogan arriving. Couldn't make decent contact, the Manchester City man.
It was a great ball, wasn't easy to take actually, there was pace on it. Nice cutback, but he was travelling himself with some real speed. Yeah, doesn't go with the ball right across the box. And it's not a good height actually, just sits up a little bit and comes off the shin.
Be keen to give Gundogan a role in the summer. He missed World Cup 14 and Euro 16 with injury, the Manchester City player. He picked up a pretty bad spinal problem playing for Germany against Paraguay in August 13. He was out for a year. It's Willian. That's a lovely ball in. The touch though took it too close to Jerome Boateng, who could get it away from Paulinho.
Great cover. Paulinho once again, just as Gundogan was arriving at speed, just not able to really feather that touch, and then probably just try and toe poke it past the goalkeeper Kevin Trapp. Read the situation well. I agree with you, Jonathan. It's not going to be the high-octane match, but certainly a determined performance from both sides. You don't think such a strong side as Brazil have, in particular.
Germany got the added incentive, of course. If they avoid defeat here, it will be a new national record. 23 games unbeaten since the semi-final of Euro 16, and they have a chance here with Plattenhart's crossing of a Gomez, and it's squirted away by Thiago Silva.
Could have gone anywhere. Stanley did well to check his run, make sure he was onside, or get himself back from offside. Ball in from Plattenhart.
Johnny Kroos with the corner kick. Ball header away by Casemiro. Taken by Boateng, and the goalkeeper had to come and punch, and was fouled in the air. We've been waiting to see Alisson, haven't we, at this level, you and I, well, he wasn't ever present, but he was the regular goalkeeper during qualification.
He's highly rated. It must be good if he's keeping Edison Moraes out of the side. Big guy.
He's kept 9 clean sheets in his last 12 games for Brazil. 9 clean sheets in the 16 qualifiers, and he hasn't conceded a goal at club level for 360 minutes.
Big test coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Clean sheets against Barcelona.
You can see right here more details of that a little bit later on. Next Wednesday it is. Run through all the Champions League matches we have for you later. But you know where to find them. Home of Champions League football right here. Draxler 1-2 with Sane. To Glover's offside, I would think. Now, he was offside, but just a question, could he move his feet quick enough there for a top-class international striker at 31?
Yeah, he's quite clearly offside. He's a little bit lazy. He's not looking behind him to see if he's just got to check his run. It's difficult when the ball is actually sort of played in the middle of your feet. You need to then shift it so quickly, get yourself in the goal-scoring position. That's never been his forte, though. Jonathan really has it. He's a great guy coming onto his cross on the edge of the box, driving in there, powering over at the far post, latching onto things.
He recalled in September after a year out, Gomez, and he scored against Norway in that recall match. 2 goals he scored in qualifying. He's got a terrific career ratio, 288 club goals in 523. It's Gabriel Jesus, lifted away by Boateng. Worked for Boateng at Jesus' Manchester City, did it? It was there a year. Talks about having a squabble with Balotelli at the time. 20 minutes gone, no goals. Bright start by Brazil, but it's got a bit cagey now.
They're not quite able to keep forcing the issue, Brazil. They are a patient side in possession. As you know, then keeping up this high pressing game is never easy.
It's Kimmich. It's a decent cross in towards the near post area. There's a good ball by Goretzka. Beginning again for Gomez. Oh, they thought that's a corner.
Yeah, it was quite clearly a corner. Only Gomez gets... It's hard to tell, actually. Certainly, Thiago got a lot on the ball. Maybe Gomez gets the touch first. Once again, good covering from Thiago, or from a defender who was Boateng a few minutes back on Paulinho. Interesting, he's been demoted as captain.
So much pressure on him in Brazil. Oh, offside against Gabriel Jesus.
Kimmich was the last man. Yeah, he's quite clearly offside. Kimmich stops, then he goes back, then he checks himself. There's huge pressure on every Brazilian captain, as I think maybe Tite's reasoning behind that is I want my two central defenders in particular to concentrate on defending. I don't want any added pressure. And we have a full-back, of course. You would traditionally say, well, his primary role is to defend, but Dani Alves spends as much time in the final third, if you like, as almost any other Brazilian player. So there's a little bit more license. And especially with good cover in the middle of the park with the three guys they've got there today. It's a bit easier to fill those two full-back positions as well if they go forward, him and Marcelo.
There, he's picked up a muscular problem against Spain. He'll play any sort of a role. He was going to declare himself fit to the manager today.
Yeah, that's the kind of decision that should probably be taken out of his hands. You would expect that he's wise enough, experienced enough to make the right one. I'm surprised if there was a phone call from Juventus just to remind him of his responsibilities in a couple of days' time.
Well, they're involved in the tightest title race in European football right now.
It's about the only race, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Big leagues.
It's brilliant. To Dani Alves. I wonder if he'll have the same success. Well, it was Thiago Silva, but talking about Dani Alves is over there now. There's a certain other right-back Brazilian captain who didn't do badly in 1970. It's Alberto.
You missed one out, Jonathan. Cafu as well.
Oh, Cafu, yeah. Played in 3 World Cup finals. What a good player he was.
Came on in 94 in the final for Jorginho, who was injured.
Coutinho looking for Gabriel Jesus. Chose the option of finding the runner coming from deep in Paulinho.
Yeah, it was late coming through, Paulinho.
Football coming up for you right here on Good Friday. Vanarama, Macclesfield Town, briefly knocked off the top of the table, but they're at Woking. Second on goal. It's going into tonight's game. Easter Saturday midday. The SP Football League, Scottish Premier Motherwell against Rangers. It's on 1HD4.
That's nearly as big as this, Jonathan. Woking Macclesfield. Knocked off the top by Sutton United, I think, wasn't it? My old team.
Apologies for that if you've just picked up, not the language of Ephraim, but the language of
Paulinho. His English is good enough to understand a few words. Time at Tottenham, of course.
He certainly picked up that phrase at Tottenham. Here's Kimmich. Tony Kroos. Lovely ball. Draxler. Perhaps to do a little bit too much on the ball. Number 1 trying to burrow through to the penalty area. Picked up by the goalkeeper. There's a little bit of a problem. Was there? Draxler's on his feet now. They've thrown it out so he could get treatment. Just a word from you on Julian Draxler. We spoke about him on Friday extensively. This is his 42nd international now. Is he doing enough for an established international?
That's more than a handful. I'm not sure we're going to see. I'd be very surprised if Draxler was in any starting 11 for Joachim Löw come the World Cup. I think there are 1 or 2 players who are injured right now. If they get back to anywhere like decent form, would be ahead of him. Certainly Mario Götze and Marco Reus, who's had a terrible time with injuries. A Dortmund wide man. He's got real dynamic ability in the final third, good goal scoring ability. Such a wonderful player. It's a shame that he's missed so much football the last couple of years, but he's a guy I think who would be in the starting 11 if he's anywhere near 100%.
Just the way Joachim Löw was talking about him as well, saying that they need to be careful with Reus's preparation for the summer tournament because he was out for such a long time. Schürrle as well might get back in.
Yeah, Reus is the one. If he's fit and plays a few more games between now and the Ennas.
Cross looks for Gomez. A little bit of a misunderstanding there at the back for Brazil. Alisson came, but it was taken out of his hands by Thiago Silva.
Well, you'll take it. You won't like it as a defender. So you'll take it from the coach's point of view that 2 players are committed, fully committed, taking no chances. Goalkeeper shot, but Thiago Silva thought he could take it, which he did. And Alisson, Becker took him. Not a full-blooded hit, but enough to cause some pain.
I was hinting earlier on, Germany, I'm sure, would have won that World Cup semi-final, even had Thiago Silva been in the Brazilian side, but I don't think they'd have won it by 7 because the collapse in the opening 25 minutes was astonishing, and I don't think you would have allowed that to happen. In comes the German corner.
Well, they played with their heart, didn't they, instead of their heads, the Brazilians, against top-class players. At that stage, in any big tournament, they're asking for trouble.
I think the heart went out of their World Cup challenge when Neymar was injured. There were big pictures of him being flown out by helicopter, can you remember?
It was a distraction.
Yeah. Marcelo, Olympic silver medalist in 2012, of course, did get some sort of revenge over Germany by winning Olympic gold in 2016. Neymar played the decisive role. By Fernandinho.
Yeah, very much a cherished gold medal that for Brazil. Neymar, I think, won the Copa America that year.
Cross in, it's a good cross in as well by Goretzka. Into a very awkward area. Gomez couldn't force the shot on target.
He's done that well so far, Goretzka. He's got into this position and put in a couple of decent deliveries. But once again, Brazil do well enough at the near post. Thiago Silva not fully committed, maybe a little bit shaken still from that challenge from his goalkeeper. Gomez gets across, but not completely, not able to really get in front of the Brazilian defender. Brazil scramble it to safety, or force him actually wide, and he's not able to connect it back across goal. As you said, Jonathan, the ideas and the movement in his mind is good enough, but the body's just not quite sharp enough to execute as well as he would have done a couple of years ago. That's where Thomas Muller will thrive, of course, for this kind of service.
Terrific Euro 2012, Gomez won the silver boot there with his 3 goals for Germany. Scored a couple in Euro 16 before he was left out of the squad. And he's just caught offside there.
I'd like to see that one. It's a little bit tighter. Through the middle of Miranda on Thiago Silva. It was tighter, but offside once again. Good ball from Boateng.
I certainly think you'll see Gomez replaced at some stage in the game by Sandro Wagner, who's another striker in his 30s, another late blossomer. He has 5 goals in his 7 internationals for Germany, neither of whom I think will start the World Cup finals, and Timo Werner will very probably start up front for Germany. Stindl is another possibility, but he likes to play off a striker.
Yeah, he's a support striker, isn't he? He's battling for the role in the side, you'd imagine, with Ozil. Goethe, if he's back fit and in the squad.
He could be the big name that misses out, you know, the hero.
Goethe, yes, good at the last World Cup.
Yeah.
Final scorer.
He struggled since that long illness. It's Boateng. And Rudiger, who's not put a foot wrong, he's not had a great deal to do. They've been very comfortable, the centre-backs. Brazil really haven't offered up anything in terms of a chance after that quite early run by Coutinho. Clinton Hart, Dani Alves.
We were talking before the game, Jonathan, about Brazil, how they are better defensively. This attack Peter out if he does, and he does. And how I still think they are lacking some physicality in the final third, that real power, and of course the quality, there's the extra speed that the likes of Ronaldinho and Ronaldo and Rivaldo brought to this, to the yellow and blue, or the gold and blue I should say, in the mid-late 90s and noughties. As good as Neymar is, and Coutinho is, and Jesus may become over the years, and Firmino is, I think, a genuine all-time great striker. Missing from this Brazilian lineup.
Not a tall side either,
no.
Brazil.
Not a particularly physical side,
no.
Are they? And those players were all big, 6'1", 6'2", with real athleticism and speed and skill, of course, technique with them.
Well, this little man, Coutinho, Casemiro is the tallest outfield player. He's there wearing 5. He's 6'2". Two centre-backs are 6'1". Goalkeeper's 6'4", but all the other players today under the 6 mark. It's Kimmich.
People may say, well, it's not all about the size, and look what Spain have done over the last 10 or 12 years. Trapp once again struggling to clear his lines.
Big final audition, isn't it, really? Because I think by the time they play those June friendlies, of course, the squad will be known. And Neuer will be given every chance to prove his fitness. He hopes to get matches in for Bayern by the end of the season. And there, the Brazilian bench. Football coming your way over the Easter weekend, the return of Premier League football, of course. All the scores of the ball hits the back of the net on BT Sports Score on 1XG. Join us from 2:45. And then on Easter Saturday, here's your Easter Saturday tea time viewing, live and exclusive Everton against Manchester City. Everton still chasing a European place, and Manchester City, a win there could leave them 2 points off the title. Sane presumably will be in that starting lineup. He's got an array of talent, hasn't he, to pick from, but he's stopped there by Charmiranda. 12 goals for Manchester City this season, Leroy Sane.
I think his consistency, Sane. Let's put aside the brilliance for one side, because if you've got the talent and then at any age you can show that, you can physically handle the big leagues, but his consistency week in, week out, whenever he's picked by Pep Guardiola's, it's pretty amazing for such a young kid.
Marcelo. And a good piece of play by Brazil, not a good passage of players. They tried to clear it away neatly. Here's Gundogan. And Kimmich wants to get forward. Successor, of course, to the great Philipp Lahm, who is here today, World Cup winning captain.
He's versatile, like Philipp Lahm, as well, as you can see him playing in the middle of the park there alongside Gundogan or Cruz. As Philipp Lahm did, of course, on many occasions for both club and country.
Played left back as well. He scored from left back for his country, I seem to remember. Here's Draxler. Too tight in there, really, to Sane, but they get a second chance now. Plattenhardt looking for Gomez at the far post, and coming in was Kimmich. That's exactly what you were talking about, getting forward.
Well, that's a good chance for Kimmich. He didn't really commit to that header. Nice deep cross from Plattenhardt, too big for Gomez. Coutinho just bends his body, bends over and hopes that Kimmich doesn't make a clean connection, which he doesn't. Two good fullbacks, haven't they, Germany, actually? They have to get forward.
But here now is Gabriel Jesus, and the flag has stayed down. Coutinho's there with him. Jesus! Over it goes. Was it the right option? It certainly wasn't the right finish.
Well, he thinks he's offside. He certainly looked it when he's played through. Oh, he's offside. Oh, how's the official missed that? He's only 10 yards away. Just doesn't get his first or his second touch actually out of his feet. Gabriel Jesus. Two defenders squeeze him out, and he's got time. Probably too much time to pick his spot. Goes to bend it over, Kevin Trapp, but balloons it over the crossbar. That was a chance to really break the game open.
6 crucial goals he scored in qualifying. Brazil, the first team through as qualifiers. And here's Willian. Coming Alves. Willian with the higher cross. Jesus! And the keeper has parried it. It's in the back of the net now, though. Jesus takes the acclaim. Brazil lead with 37 minutes gone in Berlin. I wonder who this goes in off last. And could the keeper have done better, really?
Well, you're a harsh man, Jonathan, from 8 yards out. Bullet header straight at him. Yeah, it comes off his fingertips, if you like. It's already over the line. Gabriel Jesus. He's going to claim it. He's been given it. The referee and his assistant on the far side sort of signal goal belatedly. Tries to throw it back out. And off the hand of Fernandinho, I think, who's coming in. But the ball, I think, is already crossed. What a delivery. Takes out Boateng. Goalkeeper can't come for that. Yeah, it's already crossed the line. Valiant in an effort as it was from the goalkeeper, but from that distance, yeah, it comes off his right thumb and maybe forefinger. It's already a goal.
He actually did well to get to it, didn't he, in the first place?
Unless that just hits you on the chest and barrels back out in the face, sometimes over the real firm part of your hand and goes over the crossbar, but when you're falling back like that, that would have been difficult.
It's the 100th goal Brazil have scored since the World Cup finals of 2014 in 45 internationals.
Well, he missed one a couple of moments earlier, Gabriel Jesus. Unlike all top strikers who believe in himself, don't shy away from it, remain in a good position. Fantastic cross, good crosses tonight, that's the best of the lot. And I'm so pleased we actually got a great reward from the end of it, the opening goal. Question mark about the defender, however, JP. Too many green jerseys in the middle of this box.
Here's Kimmich. Gundogan, who's struggling a little bit to get to the pace of the game tonight. And Brazil beginning to push it around now with a bit of confidence, but they've overplayed. Here's Sane. Goretzka's made the run there. You get the shot away, tried to cut it back to Gomez, cleared by Marcelo. Now by João Miranda. Extravagant style on the outside of the boot.
When it came off, it was well read by Boateng. Nice and cool under pressure. Lovely weighted pass from Leroy Sané to Goretzka.
It's his record as coach of Brazil. This is his 19th game. He's only lost the one, 14 wins so far. He won his first 9 qualifiers. He took over from Dunga, you'll remember, after the Copa disappointment of 2016. Kimmich, looking for Gomez, awkward one that, facing slightly away from goal.
Yeah, he's already almost waiting for the ball, Mario Gomez. He's some 2 or 3 yards beyond the play and just drifting in there. As you said, Jonathan, very, very difficult then to backhead that one past any decent goalkeeper. But they'll be just a little bit cautious, won't they, the home fans in Brazil, about the team right now. And I haven't got the stats in front of me, but I'm sure that Carlos Dunga had a pretty impressive record as well going into 2014. Remember what happened there. 2010, lost to the Dutch. It wasn't too much wrong with that side,
We could be seeing a change before World Cup 18 in the world rankings. Brazil have moved up to second again. They dropped way down before World Cup 2014, but that was because they weren't playing competitive games.
I don't think it matters one little bit to these nations where they are in the rankings.
The group once again in the summer, Switzerland, Costa Rica and Serbia. They've only lost one first round game in 37 since 1970. Germany's group, to remind you, Mexico, Sweden and South Korea.
There's a goal again. Just Boateng and Kimmich in attendance. 3-4 Brazilian players who are in a goal-scoring position, with that Coutinho the widest of them. Straight out the goalkeeper, the header from Jesus, but powerful enough to come off the hands of Kevin Trapp. He's unlucky, really. There's nothing he can do about that. The cross is too good for any keeper to come and really take. Just to Norway, didn't they, Brazil, in 1998?
That's absolutely right. Yes. Scotland's group they were. They kicked off that World Cup against the Scots. I was there in Paris that night. course, who scored a couple in the 7-1 semi-final win 4 years ago. Curls it away. There's a good header out by Miranda.
Yeah, they don't do too much wrong in World Cups, do they, Brazil? Every now and again there's a subpar performance in the group stages.
Look, you remember that horrible 74 team they had, the team of bruisers in Germany?
You're not their finest World Cup.
No.
Hard to follow the 70 team though, however, isn't it?
Here's Coutinho. Still think that 70 team was the greatest football side that's ever been. I know Spain dominated Europe and the World Cup from 2008-2012, but that Brazil side, if you've never seen them, it's a fantastic team. And if you can get a copy of the original FIFA documentary,
I have one.
Oh, what a wonderful
it's a good watch.
film that is.
Yeah. Extremely good watch. Also being the first World Cup in colour as well also helps, doesn't it? The yellow shirts were really in full glory at the time. Germany don't quite seem the same actually when they're not playing in white.
I think it was the first World Cup where there was a sticker collection as well. Soccer Stars, I think it was called.
How about to your more?
Well, I know there was one because I collected the stickers. All these years on, I'm still collecting stickers for this summer. True story, that. There's Miranda, to Marcelo. Goetz has done a lot of work up and down this right-hand side. He's had an impressive first half for Germany.
Some good work, especially offensively. He's one of the fresher guys in the squad, so you would expect that. He won't be at all convinced that his place on the plane as a member of the squad is guaranteed.
He came into the side in May 2014. He then had a 2.5-year wait for his second international. Captain of the under-21s, runners-up at European Championship at that level. It's a little bit of a chance, but brought away in commanding fashion. It's been a good first half for Rudiger, but it's Brazil who lead with the goal late on in the half. Cutaways of Thomas Schneider there on the bench with him, Marcus Sorg also on the coaching team as they all come out for the second half. And I'm not too sure if we're going to have any changes at half-time, which means we'll have a plethora of substitutions a little bit later on for you, as is the way of these international friendlies. But as it stands at the moment, assuming that Ben Leno will come on, the only players that Löw hasn't tried in these two friendly matches, Sebastian Rudy, who's back in the squad. He was released last week to attend the birth of his baby. Julian Brandt hasn't featured yet, Sandro Wagner hasn't featured yet, the young defender Niklas Süle of Bayern Munich, and Emre Can, who was sent back early to Liverpool with injury. Gabriel Jesus' side lead because he scored the goal to atone for that earlier error. Certainly this would be a fitting way for Brazil to leave this little European World Cup warm-up tour with a revenge victory over the team that slaughtered them 4 years ago. Off we go in the second half. Brazil, of course, in the famous yellow and blue, and they're kicking from left to right in this second half. The name of Germany's official World Cup kit, by the way, for they're in the greens. Well, I'm telling you, this I mentioned this to you on Friday, didn't I? It's something like where the ocean goes to the meadow. It's green, basically, isn't it?
Yes, I couldn't quite understand or work it out there. I'm still a little bit confused.
Anyway, there you go. It's an iconic shirt, whatever. Boateng will lever this away. Will certainly be, if he stays fit, a pillar of the German defence in a couple of months' time. There's a foul.
And I can understand both coaches not wanting to make any changes yet. especially in the goalkeeping department. This is a game, remember, that you want to win, so you want.
It's in by Marcelo, chested back to Kevin Trapp, who I think he is the goalkeeper at the moment, with Neuer returning fitness on the outside looking in. I think Bernd Leno, who played in a couple of the qualifiers, would be the third choice. Ter Stegen has gone back to his club. He picked up a little knee problem recurrence on Friday against Spain. I think he'll go as 2 to Neuer, and I think Leno will go as 3. So it's giving Kevin Trapp another opportunity.
He's actually named on the bench, isn't he, Ter Stegen? I believe I actually saw him in the warm-up. He may have been officially released, but maybe he's decided to stay with the group.
Here's Goretzka.
This is somebody who's masquerading as Barcelona #1.
Kimmich. Boateng to Kroos. That's by Marvin Plattenhardt, who sent in 2 or 3 dangerous crosses in the first half, headed away by Dani Alves. Decent start in the second period for Germany, just as they put in against Spain on Friday, when they were the poorer team in the first half. Very poor in the opening 20 minutes.
Could hardly get a kick. It's the top-class outfit, of course, and Brazil have given them a little bit more leeway. They've had more of the ball, but still not able to get the opening goal. And of course, it's given them that edge and that real determination now to try and get themselves back in level terms. And it means that there's no chance of this game, certainly in the next 10 or 15 minutes. It's petering out into pretty tame and worthless exercise.
Certainly, I think that 20-minute period by Spain on Friday was the best 20 minutes we've seen from any of the 3 sides in the 2 internationals we've covered in the last 4 or 5 days. I thought they were fantastic. Here's Marvin Plattenhardt, never been beaten as a German international. Sane towards Draxler, it's not going for him at all. Boateng. Kimmich bent his foot around it, looking for Draxler. The safety held by Alisson.
It was all very tight, trying to get through the middle of that Brazilian midfield and the defence.
Alisson's gone 405 minutes now without conceding a goal for club and country. He's been in good form. Paulinho was strong in there. Is it on the counter? Look for Gabriel Jesus. Well dealt with, and Boateng's gone down, and the way he's gone down is alarming here for Germany.
Well, I think they're looking to get away with that, Germany. Willian picks that ball up well, and he's threading a through ball to... That's not a tidy challenge, is it, from Gabriel Jesus on Jerome Boateng. Once again, he read the situation really well, the Germany captain. Certainly quick enough and more than strong enough to deal with the Manchester City forward.
He played 3 qualifiers, Boateng, which is startling. Really, he was left out of the side from November 16 to November 17. And against Northern Ireland away. We're 100% in qualifying Germany. They're the second team to achieve that result.
Yeah, being raked down on the back of your ankle and on your Achilles. It's not very nice at all. But that's much better than a twist. And him going to ground and then his leg given away from under him. That will be painful. There'll be some bleeding underneath the sock. Who knows if it was really a full-blooded one. Should recover pretty quickly from that.
Just look from Antonio Rudiger, and you can understand why. Right on the eve of Euro 16, he picked up a cruciate knee ligament injury and was ruled out of that tournament. Boateng's defensive partner today.
Even if he doesn't come back on the field of play today, which I've got a feeling he will do. He's been helped off. That will wear off in a couple of minutes, and then we're to league proceedings. I'm sure in a couple of days that will settle down.
Plattenhardt, pressure on him by Willian. Dug out and cleared away by Rudiger. Gundogan's just dropped into cover at centre half at the moment. Marcelo. João Miranda. Here's Dani Alves. Willian. Close with that. And he was caught in possession by Casemiro. And Brazil looked to wrap it up, but Coutinho's shot, always rising, and it didn't come down.
Usually does that so well. As Coutinho sets himself and really powers into that ball. It's quite a few yards over, however.
Here comes Jerome Boateng.
Yeah, a few minutes he should run that off. Just a flesh wound.
So we're really relishing this autumn of his international career. That's handball.
Scooped it away.
Casemiro. Poor backgrounds. Casemiro came from a very poor upbringing. Still managed to get hold of a PlayStation, but he had to sell the PlayStation.
The standard, isn't it? Even if you are very, very poor.
But he needed, I think it was £4 a day or something like that for his bus and his training money. That's why he sold his PlayStation. Flag stayed down there. That's a poor ball out. Rudiger. Here's Willian. Alves has gone on. It was foul.
I don't see too much wrong with that. And Alves was just waiting for the ball to arrive, and Rudiger stepped in, just planted his body. And thought it was illegal.
Well, he's not shy in going down, Dani Alves, under pressure. We've seen it through his long and illustrious career. A career that has brought him 28 trophies at club level. Here's Gabriel Jesus. Played out wide to Marcelo, and all the while Paulinho was well positioned. Still galloping up and back at the left fullback.
I think they were the feet of Boateng.
I assume so.
Just trying to show us the director whether he's moving gingerly or not. He will do for a few minutes, as I said. It's such an area, such a poor area for circulation in the body that it'll take quite a while before you feel comfortable again.
Marcelo, Coutinho veers away from the one challenge. Paulinho back to him, tight area, good dummy. Willian couldn't finish. It was a brilliant block by Rudiger. And the follow-up is well dealt with, because the shot from Paulinho had pace and power, and that's a fine save by Kevin Trapp.
Yeah, he'll feel better about that, the Germany goalkeeper. After conceding in the first half, not really his fault. Good block from Jerome Boateng. Actually, it was Rudiger. Actually threw himself to the ball. This one, is it on target? Oh, it certainly is. That is a good save. Nice height for him, but that was travelling. Well hit by Paulinho, and that's a good save.
Coutinho works it back to Alves. Marcelo, on forward by Willian. He looks a more confident goalkeeper now.
Yeah, he will enjoy. If he doesn't get any more work through the next 2 minutes, he can just rest assured that he's done a couple of good things already in the second half.
I think his defence put him under pressure in the first 5 or 6 minutes, didn't they? And with the back pass, and he was poor in his distribution. I think that upset him. It's Boateng. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Rudiger.
All the players on the field need to see and feel the ball. The goalkeepers are no different to anybody else.
Sane, who hasn't had a great game, he's given that away to Willian. Alves, back to him. Big gap arrived on the left. He couldn't get it out to Coutinho.
He couldn't quite dig the ball out, but in the end it was well defended once again. Kimmich had been caught out. Stindl warming up. So much in Gladbach, chief playmaker.
Mentioned him in the first half. He normally plays off the main front man or as a supporting striker, and I think the time is nearing for Julian Draxler. It'll be Goretzka who goes off. He's there now, the 24, but he's heading. I'd be surprised if he goes off. He's played well. The director gives us a lingering look of Julian Draxler, the starlet of German football when he first burst through at Schalke. He was the youngest player to hit 100 games for Schalke, but then he picked up an Achilles injury, was out for 6 months, never really regained his pomp. This is a good chance for Brazil, and over it goes. Philippe Coutinho. So a couple of sighters now.
This was a better strike. Once again, so much power he gets behind the ball. Coutinho really addresses the ball as if he means it. A bit lower than he shot a few minutes ago, but still too high. He nearly got a touch onto it as well, Kevin Trapp. Wasn't sure it was going over.
This game has real meaning for Brazil. You can see that with the coach. You can understand why. They'd never had a day like the summer of 2014, Belo Horizonte, and the opening 25 minutes were just ghastly for them. Germany romped into, what was it, a 5-0 lead?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a word actually that could describe that performance 4 years ago in Brazil. So it's put into perspective really that.
We were both out there, weren't we? The reaction from the Brazilian people, the nation, it was utterly lost.
Forget 1950 and that squad of players never recovered.
Plattenhardt, good challenge, came off the German left back last.
Yeah, that victory was the worst ever, without question, in the history of their nation.
So Stindl will come on. Haven't seen him yet in these warm-up internationals.
I think there's a good chance of making it because of the paucity of creative players behind the front man. As I said, Özil is a guarantee to go to the World Cup. Yeah, Goetze at the moment. And who else is there really is a guy who can supply that, be that link between the midfield and the strikers, Werner and Thomas Muller.
Good season with the Borussia Mönchengladbach Stindl. Scored just before the international break actually against Hoffenheim. Now here's Casemiro, powerful, strong runner into the path of Paulinho. Williams there in support. Germany have got numbers back now, 7-8 back in time. The momentum broke. Thiago Silva to Chao Miranda. It is one of their qualifiers. He really was so important for them.
Wasn't favoured for quite a few years, Chao Miranda.
Made his debut 9 years ago. As you say, he's been in the wilderness for long periods. That's a foul on Willian. It's a decent game. I was going to say Marvin Plattenhardt, young Marvin Plattenhardt, I was going to say, because he only played 5 internationals, but he is in his late 20s now. So here comes a change, and it's going to be Leroy Sané who makes way. I don't think he's got any problems in making the squad, but I don't think he's had a particularly good night. And another substitution as well, and they're going to bring on Julian Brandt, and Leon Goretzka makes way for him. Here comes the Leverkusen player who has 9 goals this season. One of the youngsters, Julian Brandt, is only 21 years of age. The European Under-19 title in 2014. A very good Confederations Cup last summer, as did Stindl.
I don't think Goretzka can be too disappointed, actually. He's probably done enough tonight to really convince Joachim Löw that he's a guy to take to the World Cup. And maybe Draxler just is remaining on the field because Coach wants him to actually have a few more minutes to help him make his mind up.
Sandro Wagner's going to come on as well. 3 quick changes for Germany. Brazil the lead with just over an hour gone. And off goes Mario Gomez, and I'm not too sure whether we'll see him at another major championship finals. As Wagner gets a chance to come on. He's only a year younger than Gomez, with his goal-scoring form for Germany has been decent. A couple this season, 5 in his 7 internationals. They're unbeaten when he's in the side. Gomez do enough for you over the 2 games?
No, not quite. I only saw highlights of the first game actually going, although he started on the bench, didn't he, so he didn't get too much opportunity to impress. But he's always been the outsider of this group of strikers. That's squad for these 2 matches.
There's a good run by Gundogan. Draxler left on the field of play by his coach. He couldn't get the shot away cleanly or quickly enough.
Shifted it well, Draxler, but once again Brazil covering pretty well. Look how many yellow shirts are back. Competitive, determined not to concede a goal. Alves just does enough to take the sting out of the shot.
Alisson's had very little to do.
Half opportunity that Germany has had. Brazil have scrambled well to help their teammates out and defend it well. They've been exposed but then covered pretty quickly. That will please Tite.
Marcelo, Thiago Silva to Dani Alves. Attempted by Gabriel Jesus, slipping his energy and trying to get back though and win it again. Cross into Julian Brandt. Kimmich with the cross. Well within there. Good piece of defending again by Thiago Silva, who's had a fine night. One back by Boateng. Here's Kroos. More urgency about Germany now. Gundogan, Kimmich. Cross towards the substitute Wagner at the far post, just a little bit too high perhaps. But dealt with again very well by Thiago Silva.
He's played well tonight. Former Brazil captain. Could have taken a whack for his troubles there if Wagner's probably just a few minutes more on the field and warmed up. Didn't attack that ball.
In the first half we were saying they're not the tallest team in international football, but they've dealt with set pieces very, very well. A little bit of anger getting into the game. I don't know if you'll have a word with Boateng here and Thiago Silva, I think.
It was actually Rudiger and Casemiro who were facing up to each other. That's more like it. I know it's a friendly. Scrapping for the ball. Too much wrong, didn't he, Ruben? A little bit messy with the arms.
He's had a decent game, hasn't he, Ruben?
Yeah, he's played well. I think both sets of defenders have actually done quite well. Yeah, he just got his arm around Casemiro. That's a much better angle to see it. Don't want the game too nice, do we?
Exactly. Stindl. Here's Wagner. Kimmich. And Julian Brandt. Inside beaten by Brazil in the Olympic final in Rio. Played by Stindl once again. Made the last 3 qualifiers, Stindl. That's why the way he was brought in late on, the way Germany do things in preparation for a major championship. Familiar signposts to their methodology, and I think that's why he'll go on the plane. Boateng unhappy. Marcelo. Coutinho. Dani Alves. Coutinho back to him. Emiliano waiting on the right-hand side. Good ball to the far stick area, and it's well defended by Joshua Kimmich.
Yeah, the awareness to see what was happening. Dani Alves has picked out Coutinho, and the determination to get back and not give that one up. Good header. It's Nicolas Sula, big central defender.
Here comes that corner kick. It was taken away from the goalkeeper, and the header just wide by Gabriel Jesus as he looks for his second.
Won't be pleased about that, the goalkeeper. Big shout, but it's there for Boateng to head clear. Once again, I like to see defenders taking charge. And the issue is that Boateng doesn't really get enough onto it. Not quite an open goal. Two defenders in front of him. Just tries to steer that one. Jesus, which he has to. The ball is so low, he can't loop it back over Rudiger, who's the last man.
And Sula comes on to replace Jerome Boateng. His 9th international. He played just 20 minutes of World Cup qualifying. The young Bayern Munich defender took a full part in their season in 6 of their Champions League games, and he was in the final 2 years ago in the Olympics, and a very good Confederations Cup again, victorious in that.
Yeah, some consideration as well for Boateng, who's played well tonight. Picks up that little injury, makes sure that there's no chance of aggravating that, and of course would have to answer to Jupankis as well at Bayern Munich if Boateng were to remain on the field and become more damaged.
Khedira, by the way, is ready to play. He's got his shin pads on beneath his tracksuit, but we didn't think he was ever going to play a part in the game because of the muscle injury picked up at the weekend. And it is heavily strapped, I can tell you. It's Gundogan. In the corner by Brandt. Kimmich. And that well by Fernandinho. He's been very disciplined today. Gundogan arriving onto it. Here's Willian. They have been very disciplined as a team, Brazil. Brandt, Toni Kroos. Sula. Substitute defender who's never been beaten as a German international, to Kroos, who dwelt on a little bit too long. Rudiger. Sula picks up the pass. Brandt. And Joshua Kimmich. Cross nearly went all the way through to Wagner.
Yeah, worked it well, Germany, just when you needed the real quality ball coming in from the flanks. As Willian provided for Jesus' goal, it wasn't forthcoming.
Plattenhardt. Alves. Good fullback shape there. It's a throw to Germany though. To go. Dropped across the box by Carlos Casemiro. The best piece of defending, but they have thrown bodies in there, and he's like a third centre back at times. Toni Kroos. Good lead by Thiago Silva. Draxler. Decent cross in, big opportunity for Sandro Wagner, and he couldn't take it. Was he going for goal? Was he trying to set up a teammate arriving?
Oh, he's going for goal, Jonathan, I'm sure about that. It's just that he's not able to really muscle around the defender. Yeah, he's fighting so hard actually to get above and around Miranda. It's difficult then for him to control the head. It looks like he was actually trying to knot it down, but I'm pretty sure he was going for goal.
Costa will come on. Well known to German fans, of course, a couple of years at Bayern. Here come Brazil. Jesus around the back of Rudiger, swept away by Sula.
What about the pass? And the super take from Gabriel Jesus. Could do no more actually, just to get around Rudiger, enough to fire the ball back across. Well defended in the end for Germany.
Goes Philippe Coutinho.
On his best game by any means, Philippe Coutinho. Difficult to impose yourself every time you play.
He's their talismanic goal scorer. When he scores for Brazil, they win games, 100%. The manager seemed happy enough. With the corner, good shout, good claim, confident goalkeeping.
It certainly looks like a full 90 minutes for Kevin Trapp.
Yeah. Each of these teams might go all the way. Germany, of course, a record 4 World Cup semi-finals in a row at least. Winners 4 years ago.
Certainly know how to get it done at the World Cup, don't they? 3 consecutive finals in the 80s, and 82, 86 and 90.
A horrible final that 1990 was.
It was an angry, petulant match.
Horrible, wasn't it?
Won't be remembered fondly by anybody.
First 2 players sent off in a World Cup final, the Argentinians. Here's Brandt. Back to him. They run again, Kimmich. The Pep Guardiola saying of Joshua Kimmich, can go on to be the best in the world. I'm not too sure Pep was talking about him being a right back at that stage. As you were alluding to earlier on, he can play in a variety of positions. He's waiting for the ball now. Lovely ball by Rudiger. Plus Costa's defending. 15 minutes to go. Cross in, looking for Wagner. Second opportunity he's had. They're half chances, I must add.
Well, that's the best German cross. Schuller's angry because he feels he should have got onto this ball, but once again, he's super defending from Brazilian defenders. This time it's Thiago Silva. He knows he actually can't get there to cleanly head it himself. What does he do? He cleverly grabs the arm of Sula, stops him really throwing himself out of football. It's about as well as I've seen Thiago Silva defend almost ever.
So look at the football we have coming up for you over the Easter weekend. Good Friday at 2:45, huge one here from Macclesfield Town, where Woking in the Vanarama, because they now have a real battle to get into the Football League. Easter Saturday midday, Motherwell against Rangers on 1 HD, Scottish Premier. Wagner, just a little knock, took him down. Good form for Bayern since the move from Hoffenheim. He scored in his last 3 games for them. He has 5 in his last 7. He's got a hat-trick in World Cup qualifying. Mind you, it was against San Marino. Is that really that took him to the national consciousness? In comes a quick free kick from Kroos. Offside.
See that lining up even before the ball was played. He's offering the same kind of threat actually as Mario Gomez, just with a little bit more decisiveness.
He scored at Liverpool this season for Hoffenheim. One thing I would say about him, club goals have come at too many clubs. He's had a nomadic lifestyle really. Sandro Wagner, 7 moves over 13 years, almost like a journeyman centre forward who's come late to this level.
Sometimes it can take a couple of years for you to really impress. Of course, when you mature a little bit, or a lot, that's when you really see the potential of some players. So for him to be prominent now.
How old were you when you came into league football?
23.
Which is late, isn't it? Ian Wright was late. Ian Wright was late.
That's like 5-6 years after those guys already established at football club. And that can take you a while, you know, to understand truly the professional game, and then some of the things that kids are learning at 19, 20, you're only learning about 3-4 years later. So the determination, and of course the hard work, and just a little bit of ability as well helps to fast track yourself.
This is a good run by Douglas Costa. He's all alone at the moment. Sula timed that superbly, didn't he? What a good tackle.
He's some good defending tonight, but he can make that challenge, Nicolas Sula, because there's nobody from Brazil. Costa has looked not once but twice. Who can I play it to? He could have played it early on. He just waited and waited, and in the end that gave Sula the opportunity to make a great tackle.
And that's why FIFA have a responsibility to protect the art of tackling. A tackle like that, majestic.
Pretty well for a big guy, doesn't he? Costa's, well, he's probably the quickest player on the show right now.
Gulped up the arms, didn't he, Willian? Marcelo, very restrained in his attacking play. Dani Alves, his touch wasn't great. I don't think he intended it to go there into Shell Miranda.
So, lucky bad touch for him.
And the German change. Be the man who I think is most likely to lead their attack in the summer. Young Tino Werner of Leipzig, has 18 goals for his club this season. He's 4 in his last 5 games for Germany.
Yeah, they do very often go for that balance if they can get it, and they've got enough good players to choose from. Germany, one quicker guy, not always necessarily a smaller player, but one who's got real speed and is a great mover with or without the ball. Klinsmann and Voller, and how they balance a more physical player at the head of the ball. You've got a hold-up player who plays like Oliver Bierhoff.
Traxler's seen that Werner's going to come off. And the shot was always rising there from Lars Stindl, whose unbeaten record as a German international could be going in 10 minutes' time. Worked very hard, the Brazilians. He's staying on, Draxler. It's Gundogan who goes off. It's a little bit sorry for him, because I don't think he's been given his natural role today.
Well, he's never been a sitter by Gundogan. I'm not sure we'll ever see him back to his best before the injuries as a Dortmund player.
Corner from Stendel. Sula, Kroos, who's played in every minute of the 2 games, towards Plattenhardt. Best passes of the game there. There's Draxler. Rudiger arrives. Now Stindl. Brazil very solid, good shape. Salute. Wins it out now. A little bit more licence to come forward on this counter. Wasn't the best of touches there, but it comes out to Willian.
Well, I'm not seeing a Brazilian player jogging or walking when they should be running.
Douglas Costa, Marcelo. Douglas Costa again. Marcelo did enough to force a Brazilian corner kick with 8 minutes to go. 29, he's the youngest of the back four. Silva is 33, as is João Miranda, and Alves is 34 now. They all fairly sprightly still. Thiago Silva's been super.
As I said earlier, I think maybe he relieved of the captaincy just seems to allow him to concentrate on the defensive job on the field.
Willian with it, Silva's at the back post. The goal scorer, Gabriel Jesus.
Well, they both left it. They won the ball, Werner and Cruz between them. They both left it for each other. And the moment was lost.
Switched out by Casemiro. It's Douglas Costa. Paulinho. Scored against Russia on Friday, going for another one there.
Probably no bigger job in Brazil than being captain of the Seleção, or bigger than president. So countries, don't they, talk about how it's either being the prime minister or president, it's the bigger job, and then captain of the national team for the favoured sport, an Australian cricket captain, and then English football captain, if you like.
Just a quick thought on Jesus. Played 146-47 minutes of the two games now, as Brandt has an effort for Germany that goes well wide, but it took a deflection and goes wide. Now bear in mind that Jesus had a couple of months out with that medial ligament injury. I wonder if Manchester City will be happy that he's still on.
As well, Brandt's come inside. It's again Thiago Silva and to deflect that shot wide. Club managers are never happy, are they?
Comes the corner kick. It was missed in the... was it? No, it was missed in the middle by Thiago Silva. Didn't quite come to Werner at the far post. They haven't missed much in the middle, Brazil, the two centre-backs.
No, German head gone on to the end of that.
Wagner, is it?
Wagner, is it? Yeah. Yeah, Wagner. Maybe just brushes off the head of Thiago Silva as well. Werner's in an offside position.
6'4", Wagner. He has the height advantage in there. Here's Jesus, pressurising Rudiger, who did well enough and has done well enough throughout the game, actually.
Defenders have been on top, no doubt about that.
So 5 minutes to go then in the Olympiastadion in Berlin. Brazil lead 1-0. Don't forget, Premier League football is back with you, and on Easter Saturday you can follow every twist and turn on BT Sport Score. And then on Easter Saturday, tea time, Everton against Manchester City is live for you. Here's Brandt, knocked away by João Miranda. Marcelo.
This is a resolute Brazilian performance, isn't it?
Now here's a chance for Germany, and he's overrun it. And it went away from Werner, the touch was too heavy. Yes, it is a resolute Brazil performance, and we know they've got stardust and they can glitter so brightly, but they've shown us another side of them here today.
Yes, a side that we don't see too often. We saw it, I think, with Carlos Dunga's team, you know, sort of pre-South Africa 2010 and during the tournament to an extent. I wonder if they'll just be a little bit more adventurous come Russia in a couple of months' time. I have the feeling that they won't be. They'll believe that what they have in the final third will be enough allied to this group of players, and that means Neymar really as they start to come back, of course.
Kimmich, Brandt, who's made an impression since he came on. That's a lovely ball whipped in, and Draxler stretching at the far post has lifted it over. Impossible for him to get it back across goal from there, but what a lovely ball it was in from a player who's done well since he came on.
Great delivery. Once again, Thiago Silva knows he can't do much to actually head the ball himself, in fact nothing, and just grabs the arm of Wagner and once again puts him off, and he's not quite at full stretch, unable to make it.
Marcelo into Paulinho. Going back out to Dani Alves, who hit Kroos with the effort. Toni Kroos. Now Stindl. Dawdled on it. Marcelo. Going on. And loving that moment. Douglas Costa's across there with it. Germany have less than 3 minutes to stretch their unbeaten run to national record levels.
As well as Brazil has played tonight, Germany will be able to force the issue more when they have a full quota. All their best players, the ones who are fit and available. Lovely piece of skill from Douglas Costa, then just grabs the arm of Julian Brandt, sees the free kick. But they'll be disappointed, of course, if they're not able to get themselves back on level terms.
Sandra Wagner. Here's Brandt. Quick feet there. A very bright young player. Rudiger. Just rooted. Marcelo might have been nudged off it by Wagner in there, but the flag stayed down.
I've seen too many of Brazil's qualifiers actually for Russia 2018, but from what I hear, of course they've been resolute, they've been quite defensive and had enough stardust in the final third.
Marcelo away.
Ordinarily that wouldn't please the Brazilian public, but after the debacle of 2014, I think they just accept that the team is winning. And once again looking strong going into a World Cup.
They didn't get off to a great start, did they, in that qualifier? And they're beaten by Chile away. And sticky results carried on. It's a dangerous ball in there by Plattenhardt. They drew away at Argentina, home to Uruguay and Paraguay. With 2 down there, with 11 minutes to go before Ricardo Oliveira and Dani Alves pulled them back into it. But then, once Tite had taken over, goodness me, it was win, 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 win. And heading for another here with a minute to go. Can Germany force an equaliser? Toni Kroos with the corner kick. Brilliant header away. Comes out to Kimmich. And, well, the hand on the header for Rudiger spoke volumes there. And the crowd is very quiet. Once again, this Olympic Stadium in Berlin, Hoodoo has come back to hit Germany. As I mentioned before, they've lost more games here than in any other of the German venue cities.
Now these players, as is in the Premier League in England, they're so used to tight, big grounds, but quite tight. Fans are close to the pitch. Real fantastic atmosphere generated.
Casemiro's taking a chance. Werner. No Draxler. Still tried to force it on and cleared away by Fernandinho. Very steady for Brazil. Conservative but steady. And it's been the outball on the right hand side, and that hit the assistant's board there. 3 minutes to go of stoppage time.
Tite's wanted to keep the shape of the team and players who are fully tuned, just made a 1 substitution.
Going back to the European Championship finals of 2016 for their last defeat. It was in Marseille against the French. Long run for Germany. It's about to come to an end. And the flag is raised against Gabriel Jesus.
I think he'd be pleased that he's got lots of game time in the national team. Jesus, I don't think he'd be too concerned at the moment what Pep Guardiola thinks about that. He mentioned he's had a little bit of time out, just a couple of months of the season, and he's a young kid, so I can't imagine that he's going to be feeling too tired come the end of the campaign.
Maybe 20. And Werner tried the back heel to Plattenhardt. Brandt. 90 seconds of stoppage time to go. This was blocked by Marcelo. It's Little run there by Stindl into the position.
Well, this would be a kick in the teeth for Brazil if they were to concede.
Short tap corner kick. Cross comes back out to Draxler, hit it well! Germany's best chance of the night. It's come and gone.
Could not have hit that more sweetly, Julian Draxler. Luckily for Ellison Becker, that was straight at him. Did well actually to punish it over the bar, that was travelling.
Plattenhardt. Is this their last chance? 30 seconds of stoppage time to go. They've got to get it in there. Plattenhardt and Brandt, mobile, clever player. Two Brazilian players on him. He's forced the corner. This will be their last opportunity.
Yeah, they did well, Brazil, to make sure that easy cross ones are going to come in. Bernard wanted to get onto his left foot. Now he has a free hit.
Big moment here for Sandro Wagner, for many reasons. Plattenhardt curls it away, it's headed out, and Brazil have ended Germany's 22-match unbeaten record, a setback.